Jamaatul Muslimin, we continue with our reading of Bidayatul Hidayah by Imam Al-Ghazali rahmatullahi alayh. And the first chapter deals with acts of obedience, how our 24-hour day can be in line with the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as shown to us by our beloved Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We had previously discussed very briefly the etiquette of entering into the toilet, leaving the toilet, the etiquette in terms of relieving ourselves. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi continues and he says, وَإِن كُنْتَ فِي الصَّحْرَاءِ فَابْعُدْ عَنْ أَعْيُنِ النَّاظِرِينَ وَاسْتَتِرْ بِشَيْءٍ إِنْ وَجَدْتَهُ. That if you find yourself out in the open, you're not relieving yourself in a confined space, you're out in the open, then distance yourself from the sight of people. It is only etiquette that when you are, or when we are exposing our nakedness, that we be hidden from the sight of people. وَاسْتَتِرْ بِشَيْءٍ إِنْ وَجَدْتَهُ. And if you find something that you can build around you to serve as a covering, then do so. وَلَا تَكْشِفْ عَوْرَتَكْ قَبْلَ انْتِهَاءِ إِلَى مَوْضِعِ الْجُلُوسِ. And do not reveal your nakedness. This is a unique thing in the Arabic language. The word awra is used to refer to your nakedness, and it is aptly described as nakedness. You and I, as Western Muslims, our idea of nakedness is when a person doesn't have a stitch of clothing on his or her person. That's our understanding of nakedness. But in as far as Islam is concerned, for a male person, the area between his navel and his knee, that area is considered as his nakedness. In other words, it cannot be exposed. That area must be covered. Now, so وَلَا تَكْشِفْ عَوْرَتَكَ. Do not expose, do not open up your nakedness قَبْلَ انْتِهَاءِ إِلَى مَوْضِعِ الْجُلُوسِ, until you are sitting. So the etiquette, our scholars talk about bashfulness, they talk about modesty, and they say the height of modesty is when a person is modest from himself. You know, normally when we're in the presence of somebody else, we will automatically have a sense of shyness, modesty and bashfulness. You know, what if this person sees me? But when we're alone, then that sense of modesty falls away. So the height of modesty is that when we are alone by ourselves, we recognize that we still have some being watching us, and that is Allah, and we are modest in that particular set of circumstances. So even if we have closed the door to the loo, before we sit down, we don't strip ourselves of all our clothes, but just before we're sitting on the pot, and to the extent which is required, we reveal our nakedness. Now, وَلَا تَسْتَقْبِلِ الشَّمْسَ وَلَا الْقَمَرَ وَلَا تَسْتَدْبِرْهُمَا وَلَا تَسْتَقْبِلِ الْقِبْلَةَ وَلَا تَسْتَدْبِرْهَا. And also the etiquette is, and inshallah we'll end off on this particular point, the etiquette is that we should not face the Qibla, neither with our front nor our back. Now, if you read the Shafi'i books or the manuals of law, we find they say that if you're out in the open, then this is not permissible. However, if you're in a confined space, there's a built-up toilet, and it happens to be that in that built-up space that you're either facing the Qibla or your back is to the Qibla, then they say that it's permissible, it's fine. Why? Because it's built up, it's closed. But we find that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, when they traveled and they moved into the Levant, which we currently know as Sham, as the Syria, Jerusalem, and those outlying areas towards the north, and then they came, they were exposed to the Roman culture and Roman civilization, and the Romans, they had built up toilets, and when they found that the built-up toilet either faced the direction of the Qibla or the back was to the Qibla, then on that they would use the toilet, but they would turn their bodies in a particular way to avoid facing the Qibla. So the best and the most precautionary thing to do, even as a Shafi'i, that when we find ourselves even in a built-up toilet and it's facing the direction of the Qibla or the back, that we try to avert ourselves from the direction of the Qibla somewhat, and in doing that, inshallah, gaining the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah grant us the understanding, grant us the tawfiq, that every aspect, like Salman al-Farsi rahmatullahi alayhi wa radiyallahu ta'ala wa said, that our entire life is in accordance with the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as shown to us by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Something as small and as insignificant it appears to be, like relieving ourselves, even this act should be according to the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.